Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. He's Jack. What are you thinking about?
Okay, so you know the title of this video. I know the title of this video. Again, second time this week, Victor does not know the title of the video. So I'm going to bounce an idea off you, right?
Okay.
So we're looking at the charges against President Trump.
Okay.
And they are very serious, right?
Do we know what they are?
No, we don't know what they are, but we assume that they're 34 of the exact same misdemeanors that are put to as a felony because they were in the commission of another crime, which DA Bragg won't state what the crime is because he doesn't have to. So that's where we're at the seriousness of this indictment, right? It's just serious.
Yeah.
So here's my point of this video. Why, if you're going after Trump, why aren't you indicting him for war crimes? Right? We have a whole video where he assassinated Soleimani at Baghdad International Airport, the second in command in Iran, when he was flying through there to Saudi Arabia to make a peace deal between Iran and Saudi Arabia. And President Trump ordered his murder at a country we're not at war with. Sure, we got authorization for use of military force in Iraq, but just assassinating people. The guy's on a peace mission. We're doing it because we got to help Israel keep the region destabilized, you know? But like, if you really wanted to get him, why not just get him for this blatant murder and assassination, right?
Because you'd have to get everyone else who did the same thing?
Right. Agreed. That's exactly the reason why. So they really do want Trump. I believe it. They really want him behind bars. And they've got multiple crimes. We could talk Syria. We could talk Yemen. We could talk Afghanistan. But we're just talking about Soleimani, right? You've got this crime. And if you tried to get him for that, you'd have to go down the list and arrest every former president. But you can't do that. And why don't they want to do that, though? Even if they want to throw Obama under the bus and Bush just to get Trump, why can't they do that?
It stops them from doing it in the future? I don't know.
Yeah, because they still want the war. They still want the murders, the assassination, the destabilizations, the nation building. They were creating democracies or slave markets, depending if you're in Libya or not, you know?
Yeah.
But my point is that they could get Trump if they wanted to.
Okay, but they're not willing to give up the things that they're condemn him for.
So like if you look at Obama, he killed an Al-Qaeda fighter. 3 weeks later in Yemen, he bombed a cafe to murder that dude's American son, Anwar al-Awlaki.
Okay.
Right? That's the military target. He's going to murder his son just to make a point to these Al-Qaeda people.
Okay.
And everybody else at the cafe. You know?
Sure.
Because it's an outdoor cafe, but just everybody around, you're walking down the street, cool. And the point is, you just don't mess with the U.S.
Right.
But that's a kid, an American kid murdered. I mean, like, this is for sure death penalty.
Yeah.
Like for the Trump thing, you might be like, well, that's a life without the possibility of parole, you know?
Yeah.
You could, but we still need to be able to murder the kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all the kids, whenever we want, doesn't matter, the mosque, the funerals, the weddings, you know what I mean?
Sure.
We got to perpetuate that. And so it's amazing that Trump is kind of anti-establishment. So he's anti the system in some ways, a little bit. He's a slight roadblock or impediment to them.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we want to get rid of him, but we can't compromise the entire system.
Right. We can't take that card out of our deck. We need to.
Right. Because that's the main cards, though,
right.
You know, is the murder cards, the war cards, the destabilized countries cards.
So the war on terror is really our war terrorizing the world.
It really is.
Right.
Right. Because, I mean, it depends how you look at it, but in the Middle East, the guys we consider the bad guys they're not the good guys because the problem is they do so many terrible things, you know?
Okay.
But their cause against the U.S. is good.
Okay.
It's just that they're the wrong people to replace us because they're like the Middle Eastern version of us. You know, like if you remember ISIS, and then they would go and just slaughter. Well, I don't know if they would go and slaughter everybody, but they were everybody who had helped the U.S. who's a foreign invader. Would you maybe do the same thing? I'm not sure. Well, I kind of do know the answer to that, but I don't like their political and social, but that's on them, honestly.
Right.
because you have the right of self-determinism to
Right.
ruin your country however you want.
Yeah, totally.
It's not our job to ruin your country, which we're very good at.
Right.
But so I just wanted to point out basically the absolute absurdity of these charges against Trump. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, say you go on a killing spree, you know, and you kill 16 people, you know, you go for all old black men or something. Like you got your targets, you get 16 of them and they get you and they're like, okay, wait a second. What if we got him? He actually, when he went into that one guy's house, it was a burglary. Well, no, it was a trespassing. Let's get him for trespassing. And then they get you for trespassing. It's absurd.
Okay.
It's absolutely absurd. This is how absurd this Trump thing is.
Because there's real things that you could go.
Yeah, the murderers, the bombing in Syria, even though we knew there wasn't a chemical attack. Like we knew it on like day 2. And then he's like, well, so start blowing up airfields, you know?
Right.
Or even the illegal occupation to steal their oil or to secure their oil, I mean, you know?
Yeah, when the people charging him are all career criminals, like you have to find something that those people aren't guilty of and doing.
That's a good point.
And then that's what you can charge them with.
Because it'll bring light on what they're doing.
Right, so they can't,
It would be interesting, though. I mean, it would almost be terrific if they did indict Trump for like killing Soleimani, because he's wild, you know. He would just be like, and guess what Barack Obama did, and I got the secret files and the Clintons and that part would be great, but they would just never do it because of that.
Because of that, right?
Even if he kept his mouth shut, it would just open the door.
Right.
You know, some Republican prosecutor somewhere.
Try the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Which isn't terrible.
Oh no, it'd be great.
But yeah, they would never go down that road.
Right. Because the end game of our goal is to defeat the system. And once defeated, there would not be a free sitting president, a free former president. No former presidents of the United States would be free. Unless they, through due process, beat their cases. But I doubt that would be possible.
Right.
I mean, I also want to posthumously, in absentia, get all the presidents. I just want to go back in the past, you know what I mean?
100 years.
So we can exhume bodies and get them out of our revered places where we want to put like true heroes, like people who have fought to destroy the system. Right. Imagine it's like some hero of the revolution, you know? And they dig up Gerald Ford's body, hang him on a tree over there for the birds to pick his bones, and then they put you in there. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like here's a spot for our true heroes.
Right.
It's a little extreme maybe for you, but I'm a little bit extreme.
Yeah.
Quite a bit extreme.
But the times are extreme.
Right. And just sitting around milquetoast doing nothing, or it's got us all the right places. It's going great.
Having no spine. Yeah.
Yeah. Or not even being able to think about the final solution.
Right.
You know, like people can't even imagine hypothetically the final solution.
Right.
We want to see the final solution in our lifetimes.
Right. So our kids don't have to take care of it.
Right. Even though at this point our kids are going to have to.
Are going to be involved. Yeah.
Are going to be involved, and that's terrible.
Right. Better late than never.
It is true.
So what are your thoughts on this? I know we kind of went down some rabbit trails with this. What are your thoughts on the war crimes? Should we be prosecuting all the existing presidents or past presidents for this stuff, and even beyond that? What do you think about
Congress people?
I'm like the world to come, like that type of thing. Like get involved, join a movement. Someone who's thinking of the future and wants to elicit change. Give us your thoughts. We'll talk to you next time.